So this is Patrick Stonich, Certified Legal Nurse Consultant. And Patrick, I know you went through our online program, and you and I are visiting, and you were sharing some of your experiences and successes with the attorney. So I'd love for you to share it with other CLNC consultants.
Okay. The biggest thing is it was getting started the very first step. My biggest thing was making that very first step. It was a big confidence thing. I had to go back to my first nursing days of knowing the answer before, knowing what I wanted the answer to be, walking into the attorney's offices and making the phone calls.
Awesome. I always say, like, draw on those past successes as a registered nurse, right? I mean, nurses do so much. They save lives. Seconds can make a difference in outcome. And when we walk into an attorney's office, we need to remember that about ourselves. And so you drew upon that.
I did, and there's also being a man coming in as a nurse. They always think different just because we're so used to other people coming into that nursing setting. That was one of the biggest things I drew off of my teaching back in school, where they said always no, never say this is the first time I'm doing something. That was something you taught us in class as well. Of you always have the experience and always go off your past experiences and be super confident of knowing the answer immediately.
Okay, and so one thing I think you're putting out there is, look, we all have these concerns about something's going to get in our way, but it's a matter of pushing through that and not letting it stop us and not letting it be an obstacle. All right,
Sure.
So you got in front of these attorneys, and tell us a little bit about some of the successes and some of your experiences with that.
The initial ones were, why do I need a nurse? What do you exactly do? What's our benefit? And the biggest thing is what makes it easier for their jobs.
Sure.
And the easiest thing that we came up with is we can do everything. And really map out exactly the timelines that we're going to do it, when they need it by, and the expectations set up right in the beginning. So there was no mystery.
So it's about relevancy and
I would agree.
Your unique selling position and what you can do for that attorney. It's
Yes.
not just about you and your experience, but how are you going to benefit that attorney?
Correct. And they always looked at their perception of how people are going to look back. I mean, it's their practice and you're kind of attached to it. That was a big selling point that I kind of said in the background. If you need more of me, then ask. I don't want to be too pushy, but pushy enough to where they know that you're present, but not overbearing.
Right. And so what's been your experience? Are you enjoying
Love
this
it.
process? Okay.
Love
What
it.
do you like most about it?
It's infectious once you start doing things. You really get involved. You kind of have to put some time limits because you can go way overboard and be too involved with some of the cases. I think it's exciting. It's something that's always changing.
Yeah.
Each case is always different.
Yeah, every case is unique.
Always.
And are you finding that as you first got started, the more you got into this and the more attorneys you're consulting with, that it kind of feeds itself and you're
Yes.
getting referrals and more cases?
Yes. After the first couple cases, I did 3 cases right off the bat after a conference down in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, because you exhibited,
Yes.
right? Yes.
And it was a great experience meeting the attorneys. You get a little overwhelmed because you feel really popular after being exhibiting. The first couple cases definitely went overboard, but I think the response was great afterwards.
Okay.
I kept getting the cases back. Most of the first initial cases, repeat clients immediately.
Well, you're pointing something out that I notice with a lot of people who are successful pretty quickly, and that's that they put themselves out there in front of these attorneys. One of the things I'll notice is a lot of times after the program, people go home and it's almost like they're expecting the attorney to contact them or attorneys in the areas.
Right.
You have to go to these attorneys, and that's one of the definite characteristics that I notice of all the successful consultants. They get
I agree.
themselves out there in front of these attorneys.
Right, you have to. They're never going to call. They're always going to, if you wait for it, they're never going to pick up the phone. They need the constant reminder, again, politely in their face of, being that constant contact with them is the only way that it was successful for me.
So what's different for you? What's shifted from you or for you now that you're in this business?
I think the ease of it, or not the ease, but it's a lot easier to present now, because I have the experience under my belt of doing some cases and depositions and trials. You just keep building off of that and getting more and more confident each time. The other referrals from other attorneys, that's the best referral. If you have an attorney call another attorney, that's golden.
Absolutely.
Honestly.
And the more you do it, the more you're going to get those
Yes,
referrals.
totally agree.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I
Thank you
appreciate
for
you being
everything.
with me today,
Of course,
Patrick.
of course.